Welcome students. Today we discuss on threats of biodiversity, in which part first. So what is threats of biodiversity and those they given injury to the environmental things. So what is threats to biodiversity? Threats means injury or damage given by the any activity or the things one. The greatest threats leading to the loss of biodiversity is nothing but a human race. As per the population is grows in our country and they given the different needs from the biodiversity or the ecosystem in the form of food, water, industry, transportation, home comfort, and it takes our natural ecosystem and replace them with unnatural ones. Because of the human being, they required the different number of sources for their sustainable life, and this they should be a given or the achieve from biodiversity one. So they majorly given to impact or damage to our biodiversity one. Then even these things or the other organisms can adapt and successfully reproduce, but the levels of biodiversity as compared to replace environment are significantly lower due to the large number of hazards that are occur by a human being into the biodiversity one. Then the major or the core threats to a biodiversity are human population growth and unsustainable resources used by the human race or the man one. Till today, the most significant cause of extinction are the habitat loss, introduction of exotic species, and over harvesting one. Because of this, such a different significant causes they given to the major threats to a biodiversity one. Then after, the climate change is also predicted to be a significant cause given to extinction of the some species in coming century. They are occur by the such a hazards one. Then what is the destruction, global climate change, habitat fragmentation, pollution, and those they given to the damage our biodiversity one. Simply the habitat destruction is nothing but the resources those they will be alter due to the human interactions for construction of the different works for fulfillment to its own activity one. Then global climate change, the sudden environmental or the seasonal change they should be occur, and they are so given to impact on to the biotic factor. Then the habitat fragmentation, human activity reduce as well as also to impact on the particular biodiversity one. Then next one, the pollution, they also given a major impact to the threats of an biodiversity one. Now we just focus on the major impact or the threats are nothing but a habitat loss. The habitat loss can be described when an animal loses their home. Every animal in the animal kingdom has their niche and their animal community, and without their habitat they no longer have a niche. That means they will not survive without the interaction with the other animals or their different individuals. Then which one are the different reasons given to the habitat loss by a human being, in which the first one are nothing but the much more land or the forest one, they are majorly useful for as an agriculture or the farming purpose. That time the normal habitation of a wildlife and also the other plant and animal, they are majorly given to impact to the particular biodiversity. Then after the second reason, the harvesting of natural resources for personal use, and this will be a day by day increasing on the basis of population there will be a rise in our country. Then what about the urbanization and industrialization? So the different industries and the population growing on, the urbanization is also occur. So they leads to given the threaten the biodiversity or the some animal species one. Then simply we says that the habitat destruction is currently ranked as the primary cause of species extinction worldwide. Then some of the natural causes are also given to the habitat destruction, as well as simply we says that threats to a biodiversity. So which one are the natural causes? The first one given to the volcanism. Due to the volcanic eruption, the normal habitat they should be a given as to diverse effect by the such a natural calamities. Then fire, climate change is also well documented into the fossil record one, because the certain events or the such a events they are occur and number of animals or the flora and fauna they are dumped, and those will be recorded in a fossils one. One study shows that the fragmentation of a tropical rainforest in a Euro, though they will be a 3000 million year ago, leads to a great loss of amphibian diversity. These are majorly caused by the habitat destruction, and those they will be given by a natural calamities. For the habitat destruction or simply the threats of biodiversity, which one given to the solution or solve the such a problems one? So the first one are nothing but protecting remaining intact section of a natural habitat. Those they will be a given a conserve or the protected this particular area, they are saved by the human being one. Then second thing, reduce human population and expansion of urbanization and the industries. So we ultimately achieve our goal. Then the next one, educate the public or the peoples and gives information and the guidelines about the importance of a natural habitat and also biodiversity one. Then after, the number of solutions to a habitat loss can include planting trees, planting home gardens so as to reduce need for man to need large lands for agriculture farms, which lead to habitat loss. They should be a conserve or the protect. Then same one, the habitat loss and the habitat destruction. The habitat loss or the habitat destruction is a plays important role or the key role in the extinction one, because the normal home or the habitation its impact on the species or the animals one. So they play a key role in the extinction of the such a species. The factors contributing to a habitat loss are overconsumption, overpopulation, land use change, deforestation, pollution, and also global warming, and as well as climate change. So this picture here ultimately shows that how much the intensity of habitat destruction only by the human being one. Then after the next one, effect or the impact those they given to the biodiversity are threatened one, are nothing but a climate change. Simply one of the issue those will be facing the entire world, global warming. Increasing atmospheric carbon dioxide certainly affects the plant morphology and is acidifying oceans one, and also the temperature affects species range, phenology, and weather, but the major impact that have been predicted are still just the potential impacts by the global warming one. Then in a 2004, an international collaborative studies on four continents estimated that the 10% of a species would be extinct by at an year 2015 because of only a global warming. So it is also given one of the impact, or we simply say that threats to a biodiversity one. Then overpopulation. Day by day, from 1950 up to the last decade one, the world population they should be increased rapidly, and the estimated population growth for the forecast given to 7% increase in a number of threatened species by 2020 and a 14% increase by 2050. So here we just focus how much the intensity and the cause to the biodiversity by the human being one. Then the next one factor, those they will be given adverse effect on the biodiversity are nothing but a pollution due to a transportation, industrialization, construction, extraction, power generation. Those majorly contribute a large number of pollutants into air, land, and water. They gives to hazardous effects and such a chemicals that can be directly affected our biodiversity, and those they leads to imbalance in environment that ultimately kill individuals, species, and habitat. Then after the next one, also one of the thing that gives a major impact, deforestation. What is a deforestation? A removal of a forest or stand of a trees where the land is thereafter converted into a non-forest use. They leads to decline in a biodiversity due to, or those given to such a events are nothing but extinction of a species, loss of habitat, and also destruction of genetic variations because of the rapid extinction due to a deforestation is given in a biodiversity. After the habitat loss, the next one of the parameter they also given threats of a biodiversity. So it is nothing but the poaching one. So poaching is nothing but illegal hunting, capturing, and often killing of wild animals, and it has been done for a number of reasons in which the land useful for human being, and nowadays this illegal act is being done for other ridiculous motives, especially the desire for rare animal products such as ivory, fur, organs, skin, bones, or teeth because they having a high economic value in a foreign market. So for this purpose, human being they kill a large number of animals for different purposes. Due to the poaching, the number of effects or the impact they should occur on a biodiversity, and they are adversely affect on also human being one. So which one are the effects? Due to a poaching, many countries' wildlife have been drastically reduced or even have been extinct one. And after this is occur due to the high poaching number and the destruction of the environment by human expansion. The animal had previously becomes as an endangered species. So all these content in this threaten or the threats of biodiversity. Here we simply see what is threats, factors are responsible for loss or damage to biodiversity, which one are the reasons for habitat loss and their solutions one. Then also given focus on the poaching, what is poaching, which one are the causes, and which one are the effects they are given in a biodiversity one. Now we just see the different questions they should be asked for a definition or the explanation. The threats of biodiversity, habitat loss, deforestation, poaching, then short notes on different threats of biodiversity, habitat loss or a destruction, poaching. So all these content they should be earlier we discussed. Then the next one question as in a multiple choice question. Just see the first one, the greatest threats leading to the loss of biodiversity is dot dot. The options are human race, pollution, loss of habitat. The answer is a human race. That means a greatest threats leading to the loss of biodiversity is human race. Then the second question, the dot dot loss can be described when animal loses their home. Simply, the habitat loss can be described when animal loses their home. The answer is a B, habitat. Then the last one question, dot dot is the illegal hunting, capturing and often killing of wild animals. The answer is nothing but a poaching, because poaching is a illegal killing, hunting and the capturing of a wild animals. So this is all about the what is threats of biodiversity and different causes they gives impact on the biodiversity one. I hope you all understand about what is threats of biodiversity and their effect on wildlife and how we protect our biodiversity from such a threats one.